Good evening, everyone. It's 6 o'clock, so roll call.
Robert Kelsheimer's missing. Absent. We know where he's at. He's absent.
Okay, the Wabash City Schools Board meeting for Monday, May 16th, 2022 is called to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll start by reading Wabash City Schools' mission. Wabash City Schools provides a relevant and rigorous education founded upon relationships to ensure each student is college and career ready for success in a global community. Welcome, everyone. Do we have any recognitions? Not tonight. Okay. At this time, if there's anyone who would like to speak about an item on the agenda, please stand and give us your name, address, and the item you would like to speak on, and we'll make sure to give you a chance to speak on it before there's action taken by the board.
Rebecca Emmett, 437 North Miami Street in Wabash, and the math curriculum.
I don't know if I'm going to speak, but Kip Cantrell, 1817 South Lakeview Estates, math curriculum.
Anyone else? Okay. Consent agenda. Oh, no, revisions, right? Yep. We have two approved revision on, let's see, H3E, which was, I need to find it. It's under donations. See, I went through all this at home and now I can't find it.
It's just and donations.
I know, I'm looking. Up at the top. Point to it. I cannot find it. Okay. Right there. Thank you. $184,000 from the Eisenbarger Wolf Revocable Trust to Wabash City Schools. And M. Approved recommendation for Brittany Jernigan to provide extended school year to a special education student for 30 hours during the summer at her hourly rate of $28.69.
Motion to accept revisions.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Consent agenda. We have the minutes from May 2nd and May 11th of 2022. Claims, donations. A, $200 anonymous donation to LHC for student activities. We have $100 from Wade Shemwell on behalf of Box Drop to the Wabash High School SAD Post-Prom Fund. We have $10,000 from the estate of Anna L. Shaw to the WHS Alumni Fund. $572 from WHS Class of 1961 to the WHS Principals Fund. And $184,000 from Eisenbarger Wolf Revocable Trust to Wabash City Schools. And then financials. Do we have any?
You want to take a motion before we talk about it?
Well, I don't know. I thought we would approve it all. Don't we normally approve it all at once?
Accept the consent
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
You want to talk about donations?
Yeah, first we want to thank the individuals and the businesses that made donations. We have two estate donations, rather large, $10,000 to the Alumni Fund from Anna L. Shaw. We appreciate that. The other one was one that we added on. We received a letter. We have a donation of $184,000 from the Eisenbarger Wolf Revocable Trust, and it says that these distributions shall be used by each school district for the exclusive purposes of expending such amounts for school students enrolled in kindergarten through 5th grade who are deemed academically at risk based on teacher recommendations and principal approvals for items such as, but not limited to, tutoring, teacher's aides, technical aides, learning programs, and school supplies. This was something that when we got it, we were like, is this real? So we sent it over to Jordan to double check. And it is. The person that is donating this, I don't think has any ties to Wabash. It was kind of vague. I don't know if you learned anything more that you need to share or.
I think we're one of a number of schools that have kind of slight ties to this, but I talked to the lawyer in Oklahoma and there's no reporting requirements with this. So we've got a lot of discretion to use the funds within those parameters, however we see fit.
Okay. So that's for donations. Nice.
Financials, needless to say, it looked a little ugly because we had 3 pays in April, but a month from right now, we should get our tax draw. And of course, as it happens every year, right, that makes us whole and looks good for a few months until we get our tax draw again in December. So, so we should get our tax draw on June 15th. So we're just about a month away from that. And we have plenty of money in the bank to carry us till then. So we're good.
Okay. Did we already vote on that?
Mm.
Okay, so the next regular scheduled board meeting will be Monday, June
We
6th.
gotta vote on that.
I just said, did we just vote on?
No, yeah.
Okay, all those in favor of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. The next regular scheduled board meeting will be Monday, June 6, 2022 at Wabash City Hall, 202 South Wabash Street, Wabash, Indiana at 6 p.m. There are a few items of communications. Old business. Approve the adoption of the Indiana Reveal Math textbooks for kindergarten through Algebra 2.
So moved.
Discussion?
So I want to go and explain the process that we use to adopt or choose our curriculum. So it started back in January. We had teams from all 3 levels, elementary, middle, and high school, that attended what they call textbook caravans. And at the textbook caravans, they provide us with samples and they share about their curriculum and what it has to offer. We brought all of those samples back, and depending on the level, we had anywhere from 4 to 6 options that we could consider. The samples were made available to teachers to review, and after reviewing them, they selected their top 2 choices. The Indiana Reveal Math was selected as the number 1 choice by 18 out of 22 teachers. That was grades K through 8. When you consider the second place options, 90% of the teachers selected that as their first or second choice. Our high school team also had that rated in their top 2. And the high school agreed that for consistency across the district, going K through Algebra 2 would be best for our students. We did have 30 parents that responded to the survey. They were asked to rate materials as either below expectations, meet expectations, or exceeds expectations, or a cannot answer. And so I went through those surveys, assigned number values, and all of the 6 questions that they rated them on had an average score of a 2.1 to a 2.3. I personally went through all of the math K through 8 books, the student editions, page by page. I believe this curriculum will help build our students' problem-solving abilities. It does a lot with number sense, which is an area that we do struggle with. The teacher resource guides provides teachers with a lesson plan that includes both inquiry-based and teacher-guided instructional activities. It also gives tips for differentiating for students that may not be getting it yet. So it's my recommendation that the board approve the adoption of the Indiana Reveal Math textbooks.
Did you see anything in the student textbooks that would be cause for alarm or?
There was not anything that I saw that I felt that was concerning.
Any other discussion from the board?
I mean, it sounds like the teachers or majority of them are on board with this, that we're involved in the process, right?
Yes.
Administrators, Ms. Philippi, you're on board with
I
that?
was part of the
Okay.
team that went to the curriculum caravan. I was with my teams, looked through all the curriculums. Teachers at OJ were very happy with that curriculum as far as, especially with the differentiation that it offers, and then language, which is a really big thing, I think, for us to be consistent across with math language. That also helps with acquisition. So, yeah, I support that.
Thank you.
Okay. Mrs. Emmett?
Right, I did have some concerns with the math curriculum, and to give you a little bit of an idea of where I'm coming from. I'm a former elementary school teacher. I've taught elementary math for many years. I've used a variety of curriculums, from very traditional to one that is very similar to the one you're looking to adopt. I've been part of the curriculum search project process. I've been in charge of finding a new elementary school curriculum. I know that's not an easy process to go through, and it can be hard to find something that's really good and hits all of the things it needs to hit. As well as I'm familiar with both teaching traditional ways of doing math as well as the methods that are used in this textbook. So my concerns are not born out of not understanding what's in the book. I have some real concerns with some state standards in computation that I do not think are covered well at all within the textbook. For example, in fourth grade, the state standard for computation, the very first one is add and subtract multi-digit whole numbers fluently using a standard algorithmic approach. So that would be adding numbers with carrying and subtracting with borrowing. That concept is not, or that skill is not introduced at all until fourth grade. And in unit 3 of the fourth grade textbook, there's one lesson on adding with carrying, one lesson on subtraction with borrowing. In unit 7, there is one fluency check page on addition with carrying. There is no review of subtraction with borrowing. I'm not sure how our students are supposed to master that to fluency with one lesson each, and no review within the textbook, nothing in the practice workbook. I scoured the scope and sequence. That's all that is in there. It's not covered again in 5th grade with the exception of one review page. And then in 6th grade, mastery of the skill is assumed because students are expected to be able to add and subtract multi-digit decimal numbers with borrowing and carrying. But it's something that they've had at that point, one lesson on each of those skills. In 5th grade, one of the state standards for computation is to multiply multi-digit whole numbers fluently using a standard algorithmic approach. So that would be multiplying where you multiply the ones place, you put down a 0, you multiply the tens place, you add them together and get your answer. There is one lesson on that in all of the 5th grade textbook, and that is the first lesson in all of elementary school on multiplying 2-digit numbers using the traditional algorithm. There is no review anywhere in the textbook of that. There is one lesson, and that is supposed to get them to fluency. In 6th grade, it is briefly reviewed, and then again, they're expected to be able to apply it. They have to apply it for finding area. They have to apply it for multiplying decimal numbers, finding volume. There are lots of areas where they need to be able to do that, and they will be walking into 6th grade with one lesson on it. In 6th grade, the standard for division, the first standard for computation is divide multi-digit whole numbers fluently using a standard algorithmic approach, which would be long division, the way that we all learned it when we were kids. This is never introduced in elementary school. The first introduction to long division is in the 6th grade textbook. And at that point, they're expected to jump right into dividing by a 2-digit number. Long division is hard. I taught 5th grade for a lot of years, and I've taught a lot of students long division. And it is a process that starts with very simple problems and incrementally building up to dividing larger numbers by 2-digit numbers. I have never met a student who could walk into that and just immediately start the process of long division, dividing by a 2-digit number. Maybe they're out there, but I don't think that most of our students will be able to do that. But then in 6th grade, they start with that. And then again, they're expected to be able to apply that. They're going to be using it with decimal numbers and with other applications. These skills are all supposed to be mastered to the point of fluency. So the state is expecting our students to be fluent in them. I would assume that that means that they are able to do them consistently, correctly, and with relative ease by the end of the school year. And I don't think it's reasonable to put an expectation on our students that they are going to master skills that are hard with one lesson each. I think that, these gaps in the curriculum, I haven't looked at all the curriculums that are out there. They may exist in all the curriculums, I don't know. But I would like to hear from either the members of the school board or from Dr. Sibley about whether there is a plan to fill in these gaps, about whether there is a plan to make sure that our teachers have the guidance that they need for knowing what gaps are there. Because I have been in the position of being given a brand new curriculum that has a bunch of gaps and having to fill it in on my own, and that is really hard and involves a lot of time and effort. And so, I would hope there'd be guidance for our teachers for those gaps being identified ahead of time so that they walk into the school year knowing we need to add and supplement to these areas so our students are prepared, as well as materials provided for them so they are not spending time buying stuff on Teachers Pay Teachers and ordering things off Amazon so that the kids are able to be up to speed, because they're not going to get it with one lesson. I can tell you from experience, none of those skills are going to be mastered solely based on what is in the textbook, but they are essential for middle school and high school math. And it's obvious because when you look at the 6th grade textbook, the assumption is that they have mastered all of those skills because they are expected to apply them at various points throughout that textbook. And I'm sure that's the case from 6th grade on. So I don't know, you may already have thought of this, you may have already looked into ways of supplementing for that, but I did want to bring it up because as a parent, I'm very concerned about that. I can teach my daughter it at home, but that adds a lot of work on her. And not every parent is able to do that. Not every parent not every parent's good at math. And not every student is going to be able to learn it effectively at home. An awful lot of students need the guidance of a teacher in the classroom, helping to make sure that they've got those skills.
And I will comment to that. I would say that our teachers, like you, will see that there are some things that we need to spiral back. Part of working as a PLC is that they work together, that it's not just one teacher trying to find stuff for their classroom, resources for their classroom, but all of the teachers at that grade level working together. We say it takes a village. Well, it takes all of our teachers. And so when we give them that time to collaborate, that is something that they will be able to address. And I would venture to say if we ask our teachers, they are constantly looking for other resources, that they're not just going by what is in this book and this is the only thing that we're going to be doing.
So there is the expectation that those skills are going to be covered adequately and not just.
And we will spiral back. It's not just because it was only one time. That's really what a PLC is that if we teach this and we assess and we see that we still have kids that haven't gotten it, how do we move on but still provide intervention for those students that haven't gotten it yet?
Okay, so the plan is that you're not just using what's in this text.
Correct.
There is a plan to supplement.
Yes.
Okay.
Kip.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Is there anybody else that would like to comment on this? Board?
It's commonplace for teachers to use other resources with the curriculum, like you said, right?
Yes.
Like curriculum is not the gospel truth. It's helping the teacher to guide them to make sure they hit all the standards, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Are we ready to take a vote on it then?
It's up to you, Ms.
Acting. Okay. All those in favor of the adoption of the Indiana Reveal math textbooks for kindergarten through Algebra 2, answer with aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? It's approved. New business, school spotlight, OJ Neighbors Elementary School. Okay, let me.
So we wanted to come tonight to celebrate some really big successes at OJ this year. 3 years ago, when I first came up to the administration, we started working on unified fitness. And it was a way to bring together gen ed and special ed in in a different way outside of the classroom and curriculum. Since then, we've really grown to this year. We brought Sarah Emmer in as our teacher in the RISE classroom, and she and Brittany Jernigan and our other special ed teacher who couldn't be here with us tonight put together Unified Game Day that we did this last Friday, and it was really awesome. So they're going to present to you what that looked like and how exciting it is for our kids.
Okay, thanks for having us today.
And it is back there if you need to peek.
I'll talk this way to you guys, I guess. I actually have multiple experiences with Young Champions in previous school districts. So this is something that I'm very passionate about and I wanted to bring to Wabash City. So we'll do the next slide. So this is what Unified Champion Schools looks like, and then it's across the whole board. I know that we do have some programs also in our high school level, but Young Champions is for our elementary level kids. And to become a Young Champion school, there's 4 criteria on there. So the next slide, that's just a brief overview, but the next slide, to become a banner school, we are officially a banner school. We will get our banner in the fall. I'm super excited about it. So you have to have inclusive student leadership. So we have our 4th grade team together, and it has to be both gen ed and then students with disabilities, and they have to work together. We have a wonderful team. Our other teacher, Barb, helps lead that. Whole school engagement, we had Craig Turnquist come up from Special Olympics. He is phenomenal. We posted some pictures on social media about him. Craig is the best presenter to an elementary school that I've ever seen. And he's very interactive, and he talks a lot about inclusion. And I think that was a very successful whole school engagement with presentation with our kiddos. And then you have to have a unified sport, unified activity. We are actually one school in the state that I am aware of that we record that we actually have all 4 of these. So we're the first official school. Elementary, we have unified fitness, unified robotics. I participated in that. The first ever Indiana unified robotics was this year. We are starting a unified baseball, and then unified track is like our unified game day. So we definitely qualify under a unified activity. We have 4. And then we have to do a fundraiser. And my favorite fundraiser is Penny Wars. And we were able to raise over $3,000. So we had like $35,000 in just a week.
3,500.
I wish 1,000. In just 1 week. And it really gets the whole school involved. And the parents were involved. We posted on social media every day and on Dojo, like who was in the lead. And it was really fun. We had a 4th grade class kind of sneak in at the very end and took it, like she definitely took it, but it was good. So we qualify absolutely for a banner school. We will apply for this every single year. We are only required to raise $250. So we definitely exceeded that. And we don't plan on going anywhere with our activities. So we will apply every year to become a banner school. Cool. So next slide.
So 3 years ago, Jennifer Smith from the high school came to Beth and I and asked if we wanted to participate in unified sports. And at the elementary level, that would be unified fitness. And it's just kind of like a walking club. But Beth and I kind of took advantage of having the kids weekly. So instead of just walking around the gym or walking outside, this year we had 40 students participate almost weekly. They just kind of come when they can, but usually I had around 40 students. And first semester we focused on different sports. So we played hockey and baseball and volleyball and all of the different types of sports. And we just practiced like basic skills so that when they do it in gym, they at least have basic knowledge of what that sport looks like. And then this semester we focused on more gym-like activities. So how to play tag appropriately, how to include others when they just don't really know what is happening in a game, because some of the gym games are very confusing. So making sure you're supporting everyone. And that was my main goal, of making sure that you were being nice and not just trying to win the game. And like I said, we practiced every Wednesday. And then as far as we know, we're the only elementary school that does unified fitness.
So Unified Robotics was the first year Indiana had a Unified Robotics. I was in charge of that. I was told by Lisa Graham, the one in charge of Young Champions, to do it. So I did. We were one of 15 schools that participated, and we went down to Taylor University. And it was definitely a different experience. So we had half students with disabilities and then half were not with disabilities. The entire kit was free, provided by Special Olympics. And I know the odometers and kits also are provided free by Special Olympics just by doing these activities. So I am super excited to continue this. I had no idea what I was doing at all with robotics. So I'm excited. Now I know. Yes, and they sent like this whole Lego kit, and there was this whole town. We had to build a robot, and we downloaded an app, and we had to learn how to control our robot to make it complete missions. It was definitely fun and a big experience. And we had our board made for us also through, who did that for us? Them. Yes. So that was also really good for us. Here's our beautiful class. So,
And then this year, so the city used to do Challenger League, but this year we kind of did it at OJ ourselves. So we have 21 students signed up, and it's 5 weeks. So we started right after spring break, and then every other Saturday, with the exception of the one day the 1 week that it rained. We were supposed to play that Saturday morning and it got canceled, but we played last Saturday, and then our last game is this coming Saturday at 9:30 at the Field of Dreams. Come if you can, that would be great. But we practice every Wednesday, and then we're the only elementary in Indiana that does baseball as well. So I'm really excited to move forward with that program and open up a little more wide next year to see how far we can grow the baseball league.
So Unified Game Day is what most people do with Young Champions. That's the one event that they like you to host. This is our first annual game day. I organized this and put it all together, and we had our Special Olympic rep come up, and he gave us great pointers and how to perfect it. We had all of our special ed students in the entire building and the entire 4th grade come over. We went to the high school track. It was just phenomenal. We had all of 4th grade running it. So they were partners, or they were athletes, or they were volunteer station helpers. Or they got distracted and we had to go back and redo some events because we didn't have scores. But it was good. It was fun. And the kids, we had a certain student who refused to even leave the classroom, and he, some of behaviors issues, but he came to the field and enjoyed himself, and he participated in all of his events. We just do a simple running, jumping, and throwing event. We try to mimic it like the whole county Special Olympics that they just hosted Saturday. So it is kind of like a little mimic of that, just a little less strict. They all got ribbons. We made sure we placed them all in groups of 6. So then everyone got a ribbon, also provided by Special Olympics. So I just had to put in my order. So that was also a free item. And they will give you a reimbursement of $1,000 for your first 3 years of doing game day. So Special Olympics wants you to be, Young Champions in a unified school, because they do a lot of materials provided for free just by simply doing their event. So I'm really excited to continue doing this with them.
And Amanda Stewart is our gym teacher at OJ, and she helped put the kids in groups so that they were in leveled groups, because she sees all of the kids. So it wasn't just random kids and then one kid was blowing the other kids out of the water. They were all kind of
All ability.
in their levels. But this year we also hosted our first Santa Fest. So the last few years, I've only been at Wabash City for 3 years, but we always had Santa come in and pass out t-shirts and then give a book or a small present. And that's always been something that we've done at the elementary. But this year, Sarah brought up doing a Santa Fest specifically for our students with special needs, so that it can be more sensory safe and have the staff that is aware of those sensory needs to make them feel safe, so that they can get a picture with Santa. Because when you take a student with special needs to the mall to get a picture with Santa. It usually doesn't work out too well, but this year it was amazing to have that experience so the kids can have a picture with Santa. And I heard several times through parents that their kids have never had a picture with Santa, and this was their first one. So that was really awesome, and it gives me butterflies in my stomach to even think about. But our NEHS students helped run the games and support the students during the games that just need a little extra support. And I'm excited to see where we can take that as well next year and the following year.
And fun fact, Santa and Mrs. Claus are my parents, so.
They did awesome.
They go all out also, so it was good. Yeah, that's what we had. Do you have any questions? We're super excited. We're partnering with the Special Olympics and all this.
My daughter's involved, and it's worth. I mean, it's great to go out there. I appreciate you guys putting in the time. I know it's a big effort, but she came home Friday and was so excited about the game day. Yeah, she goes, "Dad, we got shirts again too."
Yes.
So, but
Mrs. Zephyr had
yeah.
to track all those shirts. It was fun.
yes, so it's definitely been fun. And then the baseball. Thank you for taking that over. Yes. So,
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, I walked over and with
Yes.
my daycare, and it was a huge production, but a lot of fun. And
Yes.
yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yep, and partnering with Special Olympics, you get all that supplies for free. They sent me like an
Yeah.
entire game day box, like what
That's
tons of
awesome.
supplies in it, and they provide the ribbons for free, and robotics, this massive expensive kit for free, and
For Unified Fitness, we got like little hurdles and poly spots for the gym so we can create our own games when we need to, and yoga cards and a whole body bag, a huge bag of things. I shouldn't call it
I know there's ebbs and flows, but I know you guys started the year with 2 different days of Unified Fitness, didn't you?
Yes.
Because it was so
It was
well
so
received.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So I did Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but then
Things happen.
COVID kind of went down, and then tutoring started and other stuff started. So then I just went to Tuesdays. But there was still quite a few students
Yeah.
involved.
How did the students get chosen, or how do you sign up for that?
For Unified Fitness.
Well, yeah, for how that works.
So for Unified Fitness, I send it to all 3rd and 4th grade students, and it's just whoever signs up for it. And then I just kind of cross my fingers and beg the special ed students to sign up. There was last year, I didn't have any sign up, so we just had fitness club.
Yeah.
and then robotics is 4th through 6th grade, and OJ, just 4th grade. So I opened it up to the 4th grade, and then my classroom is K-6. So I did have some 6th graders involved in that, and we opened it up to. And robotics is strict. You're only allowed a certain amount. So next year, I'm definitely planning on having 2 teams because there were some schools that did that. So I'm going to definitely have 2 OJ teams. And I had kids in special ed that never participated in anything, and they were super excited because, it was Lego building.
Mhm.
And then game day, we just didn't, anyone with an IEP, we opened it up to them. And then we invited the 4th grade to participate. So
And then for baseball, I took the students that were super helpful during Unified Fitness and invited them to join the baseball league. And then it was anybody with an IEP or physical disability, and we invited those students as well. We're planning on opening it up to all IEPs next year, and then 3rd and 4th grade, whoever can sign up and play with us.
So you don't do the baseball at the Challenger Field, you do it out at
At
Field of Dreams?
Yep. It's in the back right
Yeah.
field.
we bust them over there.
Yeah.
I'm going to drive them anyway.
It was exciting that we have to have 2 mini buses though.
Yes, yes. And we had a student sign up who is afraid of, like he's a typical, peer without disability, and he didn't want to join a baseball team because he had never played before, being a 4th grader and around your peers, he was nervous about that. So I love that Unified allows him to participate and learn baseball without that pressure of being around his peers, and he's being very successful, I think so.
There were outs made last week. I noticed there was like real outs made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, very successful. So that's what I love about Unified also.
Yeah.
It takes those kids that are, afraid to participate with their peers. So.
It was nice to be able to have you guys opening day. That was
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were the first official game.
I know. Great.
Okay, thank you.
very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the high school student council update.
Did you get left?
Yeah, he had to go for his something equals. So very important. I don't know what it's called, but it's very important. So hi, I'm Ashton Chimwell. I'm the senior class president of Wabash High School Student Council. Brendan was just here with me, but he had to go, and then Annie and Casey couldn't make it because they have a tennis match. And so the middle school and high school had their choir concert. And I heard it was pretty good. I was going to go, but I couldn't make it. But there was special lighting from 91 Sundays, so I heard that it was pretty cool all around and pretty awesome. I love our choirs. They're all really good. I was in choirs my freshman year, and it was a lot of fun. But they were really good. So we just had a prom on Saturday, and so it was a huge success. We sold over 200 tickets. I think I was told maybe around 207 tickets were sold. And then Casey Long and Shaden Beeks were crowned our prom king and queen. It was pretty awesome. It was a lot of fun. It was a Cloud 9 gala was the theme. And so you can see this picture of it. It was really pretty. They had lighting on the ceiling. I don't know if you can see it, but it's an Apache hat.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that and it was pretty cool.
Mhm.
It's pretty awesome. And then post prom is something we host every year after prom. And so we weren't able to have it, I think, last year because of COVID when it hit and stuff. But this year it was awesome. We had Downtown Nutrition sponsors, so we had a ton of little T-bombs. They were so good. I had Betty White. It was amazing. But we had a bounce house, obstacle course, laser tag, ring toss, which you toss a ring onto a 2-liter, and if you make it, you win the 2-liter. They had the ring on, and there was a bunch of prizes. We had like 2 mini fridges, a fan, tons of gift cards, snack boxes. I got a snack box because there was Oreos and Chips Ahoy's and Nutter Butters. It was all good. And then we had coloring pages. That's what they're doing right there in that picture. And you just sat and you just colored on on the coloring pages. And who knew a bunch of high schoolers would have so much fun coloring? I would, but. And so post-prom was awesome. It was a lot of fun, and so was prom. And that's hosted by SAD, our Students Against Destructive Decisions, we also host both of the blood drives each year. And then there's just some dates to know. May 27th is graduation at 7 p.m. Oh, my word. I can't believe it's almost here. But May 25th is the senior cap and gown walkthrough with OJ, which is going to be a hard day for me, but it's okay. Friday, May 20th and Monday, May 22nd are the finals for social studies and sciences. Then Tuesday, May 24th and Wednesday, May 25th is the finals for math and English. And we have 8 days left of school. I want to tell you guys thank you for letting incorporating high school student council and middle school student council into board meetings at the first, second of every month. It was super awesome to have the opportunity to be able to come and let you guys know what's going on at the high school and what we're up to and all that stuff. And it was an awesome year.
Well, thank you for coming.
I appreciate you guys coming. That was a huge bonus for us as a board. Thank you.
And before you leave, I would like to congratulate you for receiving the Next Generation Hoosier Educator Scholarship. I believe you get $7,500 annually for 4 years, so $30,000. And that is because you are committing to teach in Indiana for 5 years after graduating, correct?
Yes,
Okay, so,
right up to OJ.
okay, we'll reserve a spot for you.
Congratulations.
Also, thank you, Dad, for the donation.
It's cool. Thank you.
Approve the attached draft of the high ability plan for the 2022-2023 school year.
So moved.
Second.
So
Discussion.
this is something that all Indiana schools are required to have, a high ability plan. When I started, we did not have one, so we put together a group of individuals. We had parents, we had teachers, we had administrators that came together. I think we met 3 or 4 times. The high ability plan is really spelled out by legislature. This is what has to be in it. And so we went through each of those sections, and we have our plan that will be for next school year. I want to thank the individuals that came through and helped on this. This will be posted on our webpage. I think when you go to our high ability page right now, it says coming soon. And it was like that when I was looking to interview here last year. So we will actually get that on here once it's approved. And then there's some other resources that we really feel we need to get out to parents. Just, what does it mean to be high ability? And just some things that parents can access if they have students that are high ability. So this is something that every year we will come together and review and decide, is there anything that we need to update or change?
Anybody have any questions?
Thank you for making that priority. Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it passes. Approve recommendation to declare the cafe minibus as surplus.
Oops, you missed D.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed D?
Yep.
Oh, you're right. Approve resolution to allow WCS to apply for a 1003 flexibility waiver. The waiver will allow WCS to calculate days attended using minutes instead of the daily requirement.
So moved.
Discussion?
So before you go through the resolution, I will kind of explain what this is, why we are doing this. So there is new law that limits the number of e-learning days to 3 asynchronous days, which that is how we do e-learning. Asynchronous is where we post the assignments, students work at them on their own pace. If we go beyond 3, we have to do synchronous days, which means that our students have to spend 50% of their time in a Google Meet. When I talked with, I attended an event and there were legislators there, and I told them that means an elementary student would have to spend 2.5 hours on a Google Meet and a high school would have to spend 3 hours. Now we could break it up, but it's still an awful lot of time to be sitting on a device doing Google Meet. And we have 6 scheduled e-learning days where we devote to staff PD in the morning. So if we did staff PD in the morning, then we would be forcing our students to have a 2.5 hour or a 3 hour Google Meet. And we do not feel like that is beneficial. So by applying for this waiver, what we are saying is we are calculating the number of days we go based on OJ. We only have to do it for OJ, middle school and high school. There's no requirement for kindergarten or preschool. We calculate how many minutes we go using 5 hours and 30 minutes at the elementary and 6.5 hours at the high school. They are only required to do 5 hours and 6 hours. And so you convert those into days, and we actually have extra days when you look at minute wise. And so if we receive this waiver, the 6 scheduled e-learning days that we have will become staff PD days. We will not have e-learning on those days. So as a parent, that means your kid won't go to school and you don't have to worry about them doing e-learning during those days. And that's what I thought we would see. But it still allows us to feed our staff, to give them that professional development. And we will still meet the minimum requirements. We'll still be over the minimum requirements of the 6 hours and 5 hours when you calculate it that way, turning it into days. So I don't know if you have to read that whole thing. Rod, I think usually does. You have to pass
Okay.
a resolution that says I am allowed to apply for this waiver.
Okay, resolution to waive. I see
So you
20.
don't have to
I
read
don't
if
have
you
to read
want
it?
to. No,
I
it's
really
been
don't want to.
circulated.
Okay.
So,
It's a long one.
Yeah.
I wanted her to read it.
If
I
there's
really don't want to.
If there's any questions,
No, I think I appreciate you doing that and looking into it. I think it's going to be, if it goes through and it works out, I think it'd be great.
When will we know?
well, if it's approved tonight, I will apply tomorrow.
Okay.
And then I think the State Board of Education has to approve them. And my guess is there are probably a ton of schools in Indiana that have applied for these. I know that I worked with the 4 other districts that go to Heartland, and we all are applying. And so I would think their next meeting is it's either June 6th or June 8th. It's probably June 8th, because I think June 6th is, well, it might be June 6th. I'm hoping that if I submit it tomorrow, it will get on that June 6th.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. If not, then it would be at the next one. Now, if they don't approve this, then we have to go back.
It is what it is.
Yeah, just fingers crossed.
We'll have to figure it out.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the resolution answer with aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Now we're going to approve the recommendation to declare the cafe mini bus as surplus. Do I have a motion? Second? Discussion.
What the bus we're talking about is the beautiful orange bus that sits out behind the high school. Listen, we got it for a song. We bought it for $1,000, and Melody had great intentions with that minibus, but it's not very sound. Our mechanic has told her he doesn't think it's worth the money to put into it to get it to work. Transmission issues. It's a diesel bus, and so they were going to make it into a food truck. COVID hit. The Career Center wasn't able to do the things they said they could do, and gut it out and turn it into a kitchen. So it's just an empty shell of a bus. It does look nice and it's orange, but that's about it. So she's just going to put it up for bid and hopefully get her money back from it and move on. It's not anything that she wants to sink any more money into. So.
Okay. All those in favor, vote with aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion passes. Approve the attached administrative contracts effective July 1st, 2022. Do I have a
So
motion?
moved.
Second.
Discussion?
To summarize this up really easily, it's a 1% raise. I felt like that's all we could afford at this point, and know looking ahead as we have to. Dr. Sibley's contract adds in the stipend that she got when she got her doctorate, so that's included in there. The only person that was changed besides that was Mrs. Wilson, who, now that she has 3-year-olds, 2 kindergartners, we took her 5 more days to 210 so she would match Mrs. Philippi and Mr. Madden. So, but it's all 1% raise for everybody.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Approve recommendation to create an SIS/Data Coordinator position by combining the admin assistant position at Wabash Learning Center with the stipend positions of SIS Coordinator and State Reporting. The new position will be a 12-month position with a salary of $33,000. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Discussion.
And Matt, you can jump in if I miss anything. So first, I want to start and say this year, state reporting has been a monster. They've kind of changed the way they've done things, and regardless of if you use Skyward or Power School, it seems like every time it's time to do a state report, there's some type of issue. And the DOE is saying this, Skyward saying this, and so it's been quite a challenge. We have found that most districts have one person that is in charge of their student information system, and that person also does state reporting. And the reason why is because most of the state reporting involves doing pulls from your student information system. And so you need someone that really understands that system to be able to do those pulls to get your state reports done. So with the resignation of Tracy Dempsey, who did our state reporting, we're going to combine her position with the SIS coordinator stipend position to make one position. That will be 12 months. And the reason why is because there are state reports that are due during the summer months. It's not just during the school year. Did I miss
Very
anything?
good.
Okay.
And that person will be at Ivy Tech as long as we still are in charge of Ivy Tech. Then we will move them to central office.
Okay. Any questions? All those in favor of approving the recommendation, answer with aye.
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 Those opposed, motion passes. Approve transfer of Melissa Callahan from Building Tech at WHS to SIS/Data Coordinator starting June 13th, 2022. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So we went to Melissa as our SIS coordinator and said, we would like for you to consider this. She has the background knowledge of Skyward, and so now we just need to get her the training for the state reporting. Tracy Dempsey has said, I am willing to help her as much as I can. We also have someone in a similar position at MSD that I know is willing to offer support as well.
Is there any specific training that she would need to go to?
It's
I
constant.
Okay, okay,
It
It's-
is, it's like.
that's fine. I
Yeah.
didn't know anything to
Yeah.
like be able to
They
be
don't- yeah,
prepared.
it's
to take
constant
over.
On-job training.
Right,
it
and
is.
they send out
So-
webinars for you to watch
Sure,
to know
okay.
how to do this
Okay.
state report.
Still want it? All those in favor of Melissa's transfer, answer with aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Accept resignation from the following certified staff. Heather Dutton as third grade teacher at OJ Neighbors, effective at the end of the 2021-2022 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Miss Dutton is moving out of the area, so we want to wish her good luck in her future.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Accept resignation from the following certified staff.
Classified.
Classified, you're right. Thank you. Stacy Kellogg as cafeteria employee at WMS, effective April 26, 2022. Tiffany Wagner as cafeteria employee at WMS, effective April 26, 2022. And Rhiann Burton as WHS Rise Classroom paraprofessional, effective at the end of the 2021-2022 school year.
So moved.
Discussion?
We want to thank Miss Kellogg, Miss Wagner, and Miss Burton for their time and service to Wabash City Schools.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Approve recommendation to hire the following classified staff for summer. 1, Keegan O'Neill and Jonah France as sub-custodians for the summer. 2, Sydney Baker, Andrew Dinkins, Corinne Kugler, Casey Long, and Bryce Minnick as summer custodians from May 31st to August 12th, 2022, at a rate of $13 per hour. 3, Adrian Pelfrey as paraprofessional for the summer iRead program from May 31st to June 10th, 2022, at $11 per hour. And 4, Christina Sellers and Adrian Pelfrey as summer bus drivers from May 31st to July 1st, 2022, at $122 per day. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Let
Discussion?
me talk about the first two. We're still 2.5 custodians short at the high school, middle school. So that's why we hired the sub custodians for the summer. These are both college kids. Keegan was a high school custodian for us after he graduated, like one of the next group. But they're college kids and they'll be used as subs. And then the college kids are what we normally do in this, or the high school kids are what we normally do in the summer. And since we're 2.5 people short, they really need them. And so it's a good summer to have, because last summer we only had 3. So it's nice that we have 5. We're a little behind on stuff because they've been short 2.5 custodians the whole school year. So, so hopefully they'll help things get caught up at the school. We know we need to paint curbs. We know there's things that need to be done around the buildings. So hopefully getting the subs in and getting the high school kids will allow us to catch up this summer and get where we belong. And then hopefully we find some permanent replacements for custodians for next year, because we are short still at, we're okay at OJ and we're okay at Carpenter, but we are short at the high school and middle school.
We're okay, OJ, even with Stevens.
We hired someone last time, yes, who will start as soon as
Okay,
he
I remember. Okay,
retires.
yeah,
So
that's right.
so we're good there, but we're still short at the high school, middle school. So those college kids will help us this summer.
And our summer school bus drivers, they will run our summer school routes during the month of June. And then Miss Pelfrey, not only will she be one of our bus drivers, she will also serve as a paraprofessional in the summer iRead program. That's just for the first 2 weeks of June.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. L, approve the following certified staff for summer 2022. 1, Darren Porter, Randy LePage, Miriam Milam, and Sarah Cole as WHS drivers education instructors for the driving portion of the program. 2, Ellie Milam, James Burns, and Kyle Kelsheimer as summer school teachers from June 1st through 28th, 2022 at $35 per hour. And 3, Justin Denny, Jen Smith, Sean Eiler, and Elizabeth Burns as substitute teachers for summer school. Discussion?
These are going to be our high school summer school staff. We want to thank these teachers for their willingness to teach summer school. Our summer school program will benefit many students, and we could not provide it without our teachers. The salaries for Mrs. Milam, Mr. Burns, and Mr. Kelsheimer, as well as the substitutes, those salaries we are able to turn in to the Indiana Department of Ed and get reimbursed for summer school costs.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. M, approve recommendation for Brittany Jernigan to provide extended school year to a special education student for 30 hours during the summer at her hourly rate of $28.69.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Brittany is going to provide ESY services, and this is based on the student's IEP.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Items from Superintendent.
I just want to start by saying it's hard to believe that this is our last school board meeting of the school year. I think it's been an awesome year, and I'm so happy and proud to be a part of Wabash City Schools. I've already thanked or congratulated Ashton. That was awesome. And just want to wish our fall or our spring sports good luck, as I know a lot of them are heading into sectionals. And we have many end of the year award ceremonies that are coming up that I am really looking forward to being a part of. Ashton reminded us that graduation is on Friday, May 27th. The exact location of that will be determined on Thursday, May 26th. So they're going to look at the weather and make the determination on Thursday. Will it be on the football field, or will we do it in Coolman? So hopefully it's nice and sunny. We have beautiful weather and we can be out on our beautiful football field.
Okay. Items from Chief Business Officer.
I'm sending out a thing. I want to just keep you updated so you know what we're doing. We have LED lights in Carpenter, OJ, and the high school, but we do not in the middle school. And so we have this proposal that we've been working on. Chad Nickham, our head maintenance director, has been working on it, and I've helped him here at the end for the last couple months. This company will come in and not only put in lights, they're going to change all the fixtures in the middle school or retrofit the fixtures and for every light in the building. The only place that won't have new fixtures is the gym and the auditorium, and they will have new lights. They just won't have new fixtures. And this will be paid out over 10 years. And their projection, which this is what they do, right, is that we would save $290,000 over the 10 years. So as you see, we make a little money. That's if the cost of energy doesn't go up, which we all know it's going to. And so if the cost of energy goes up, we'll save even more than the $20,000. So even if it's a wash, it's worth it because we'll get all new lighting. It'll be all LED. They'll have dimmers for classrooms that come with it. And it's even like closets are going to get new lighting. So this will now have the whole corporation with LED lights. And so this project will be done this summer. So I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on. So if anybody asks, it's our last green, right? Like we've now got as green as we can get with lighting, and we'll have LED lights in the whole corporation. And it'll be nice that it's everything in that building. I mean, like I said, even the closets are getting new lights. So, and they're guaranteed for 10 years, which we didn't get with the other buildings. So if any light goes out in 10 years, they'll come and replace it for free. So that's also really nice. And then after the 10 years, it's paid off, then it's all savings. Of course, I'll be long gone, but the next guy will be glad that we did it and they'll save some money. So.
Okay, thank you. Items from administrators.
Hey, 8 days. Great weather, that's all we're ready for.
Okay, items from other visitors. Oh, did you raise your hand?
I didn't know.
Oh. I got excited there.
Don't do
Okay.
it.
Other items from board members.
Congratulations to all the students finishing the school year. That's awesome, especially the graduating class. I did want to thank Rebecca for going through that. I was like, I never taught math. I would have no idea what to look for. It was eye-opening to all the things that you talked about. And I'm glad that we are making sure that those kids continue to stay up on what they need to. And we don't just do one lesson, of course, does not make any sense. So as long as those kids are getting what they need, that's great. I want to thank the high school student council again for coming all year and telling us the great things they're doing. And then I just wanted to thank the OJ staff for the Unified Champion School stuff. That is really, really cool. I've heard about it. I actually know the lady you were discussing that told you to do it. I used to work with her in Marion, and I would do it if she told me to as well. Whatever she says. But that's really great and sounds like a lot of fun, and I can't wait for my son to potentially be a part of that. So awesome. Thank you.
Thanks. We have very much, we've learned a lot about Unified Fitness. Grace brought a paper home last year, and I'm like, what's this? So, but it's been great, and I know that she's become friends with some of those kids that she wouldn't necessarily see on a day-to-day basis. So that's, yeah, and she likes to help. So, and through it, we've developed friendships with families that we've seen. So that's nice. I know Beth's been integral in this part for years, so it kind of fits. But thank you. I know you about lost your head Saturday with Grace.
She did.
I was like,
Overzealous.
I go, you gotta wait till those Beth moves before you're swinging a bat. But it was.
Until past managed to dodge the bat.
But yeah, thank you for running that. It's exciting. Thank you, Jeff. Big weeks ahead. I know it's a busy time, but thank you for all the extra work that goes into the next few weeks here. I know the students appreciate it, the families appreciate it. So yeah, that's all I got for tonight.
Okay, Jason.
I think just the only thing I really want to point out is the Unified Fitness program, the baseball, everything that's going with that. It's awesome that we're being inclusive, giving kids that normally wouldn't have a chance to learn, to grow, and giving kids that maybe not struggle in some things an opportunity to learn in different ways. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
And I just want to say 8 days, 9 days till you're done. You can do it. I'm excited. I know you guys are too. So we can do it. That's it. With that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we're adjourned.